What if humanity's greatest secret is hidden in a language no one alive can read? A forgotten code etched into ancient tablets, silently holding the key to a lost civilization. Throughout history, language has shaped the very core of our civilization. It's how we share knowledge, pass down stories, build communities, and record what matters most. But not every language has survived the passage of time. Some have disappeared completely, along with the people who spoke and wrote them. What happens when a language dies before it's ever understood? Buried beneath centuries of sand and silence, a mysterious script was discovered in the ancient city of Susa, in what is now southwestern Iran. These strange markings, carved into thousands of clay tablets, came from a time before even the famous cuneiform of Mesopotamia, perhaps as early as 3100 BCE. That's over 5,000 years ago. The writing system, later named Proto-Elamite, was unlike anything scholars had seen. The symbols didn't match Sumerian signs. The structure was different, and most importantly, no one could read them. What makes this even more fascinating is the location. Susa was not a backwater village. It was a major urban center. It had infrastructure, social organization, and apparently, a writing system created by people who knew exactly what they were doing. But then, they vanished. The script disappeared from use. No transitions, no evolutions, no borrowed forms that we can trace. Just silence. Over 1,000 different symbols have been found across these tablets. Some are pictographic, representing animals, objects, or abstract ideas. Others are more geometric, possibly standing in for sounds, numbers, or entire words. And yet, despite decades of study, the meanings remain unknown. Many of the symbols appear only once or twice, making them incredibly hard to categorize. Are they names, titles, specialized terms, religious concepts? Without context, we're left to guess. Some scholars believe the tablets were used mainly for administrative purposes, records of goods, trades, or taxes. But even that isn't certain. Others suspect there was more to it. Some of the tablets are so stylized, so deliberate, that they seem almost ceremonial. Perhaps they were never meant for day-to-day accounting. Maybe they carried deeper, more philosophical meanings. What if they held stories, myths, laws, ideas meant to outlast the people who wrote them? Attempts to decode Proto-Elamite have spanned generations. From the earliest archaeologists who brushed dust from the tablets with trembling hands, to modern researchers using 3D scanners and artificial intelligence to map every line and curve, the mystery has persisted. The core problem remains the same. We have no Rosetta Stone, no bilingual inscriptions, no known relative languages. The script stands alone, isolated in time, like a message in a bottle from an unknown sender. There are theories, of course. Some believe Proto-Elamite was influenced by the Sumerians, whose cuneiform system was developing around the same time in nearby Mesopotamia. Others think it was a completely independent invention, a sign of intellectual flourishing in a region long overshadowed by its Western neighbors. If that's true, then the creators of Proto-Elamite may have been the first to use writing not just as a tool, but as a form of expression. And then there's the more radical idea that Proto-Elamite didn't emerge from surrounding cultures at all, that it might be a remnant of something older, a culture lost not just to history, but to memory, a civilization that rose, developed its own systems, and fell, leaving behind only fragments, not temples, not statues, just symbols. What kind of people were they? What did they believe? How did they see the world? Did they chart the stars, count the seasons, worship gods we've never heard of? Or did they see writing as something sacred, something reserved for the few, a privilege, or perhaps a responsibility, handed down from generation to generation, until suddenly something happened, and the knowledge was lost. The sudden disappearance of the script only deepens the mystery. Unlike other writing systems that evolved gradually or spread through trade and conquest, Proto-Elamite seems to vanish almost overnight. Within a few centuries, it was gone, replaced by other forms of writing, or forgotten entirely. The reasons are still unclear. War, climate change, internal collapse, or was it something else? Something we haven't yet considered. In many ways, the story of Proto-Elamite is a story of silence, of voices we can't hear, ideas we can't access, and knowledge we may never fully retrieve. And yet, those tablets endure, solid clay, hardened by time, refusing to crumble. Their presence alone challenges our assumptions about who we were and who we might have been. Some researchers have begun to explore more speculative angles. They've noticed patterns in the symbols that suggest mathematical logic. Could these people have developed early forms of accounting or geometry? Others have spotted recurring sequences that might indicate a calendar system or even early astronomical observations. If any of this is true, then we're not just talking about scribes writing numbers. We're talking about thinkers, scientists, philosophers, people pushing the limits of their understanding in a world that we can barely imagine. And yet, the fact that we can't read their words feels deeply frustrating. It's like standing in front of a locked door, hearing whispers from the other side, but never quite making out the message. The frustration is what drives some people to extreme interpretations. Theories that Proto-Elamite is proof of ancient advanced knowledge, maybe even extraterrestrial contact. While most scholars dismiss these ideas, they do reflect a deeper truth. We want answers. We need them, because somewhere deep down, we feel that unlocking this script might unlock part of ourselves. Language, after all, is more than symbols. It's memory, it's culture, it's identity. And when a language dies unread, a part of humanity disappears with it. That's why deciphering Proto-Elamite matters, not just for historians or linguists, but for all of us, because it reminds us that our past is still unfolding, that there are chapters of human history we haven't read yet. Despite the challenges, hope is not lost. Advances in technology are opening new possibilities. Machine learning tools are being trained to recognize symbol patterns across massive data sets. High-resolution imaging allows scholars to spot subtle marks invisible to the naked eye. Collaboration between universities worldwide is growing, and as more tablets are uncovered, every new fragment adds another piece to the puzzle. Still, the breakthrough we need hasn't come. Not yet, but maybe it's close. Maybe someone, somewhere, will see the connection that others missed. A recurring symbol. A clue hidden in the way signs repeat or vary. All it takes is one insight to unlock the rest. And when that day comes, if it comes, what will we find? Will we uncover the laws of an ancient society, the poetry of a lost people, instructions for rituals long forgotten, or perhaps a warning, a message carved in clay, meant not for their time, but for ours? Whatever it is, the story of Proto-Elamite reminds us that our world is layered with secrets, that beneath every ruin, every relic, lies the possibility of rediscovery, and that the past is not as distant as it seems. So the next time you think of ancient history as something finished, something dead, remember the tablets. Remember the marks left by human hands, thousands of years ago, still waiting to be heard. Could this lost language be the key to ancient civilization? Could it rewrite what we think we know about the origins of writing, of society, of human thought? We don't know yet, but the silence isn't empty. It's just waiting for the right person to listen. If this mystery caught your imagination, you're not alone. There's a whole world of forgotten stories, hidden codes, and unanswered questions still out there. This channel is just getting started, and together, we'll keep digging. Because sometimes, the most powerful discoveries begin with a single forgotten word.